Going classic rock tonight with Mr. DJ as we outsource Billboard's Hot 100. This one, 1976. I believe November 1976. Excuse me. The date of this one would be November 6, 1976. Rockin' Me by Steve Miller at number 1. Disco Duck by Rick Dees at number 2. And If You Leave Me Now by Chicago at number 4. And Muskrat Love. Lovely record. They did a lovely rendition of that record, Captain Tennille. I don't care what anybody says. It's a cheesy record, Mr. DJ. I don't care. It was a lovely. They did a great version of that. America originally did that back in 1973, but theirs did not. Their version did not connect, except on the adult contemporary charts. But we're not talking adult contemporary tonight. We're talking rock and roll, big time. Number 45 on Billboard's Hot 100 that week. It's Only Love by CC Top. And CC Top formed in 1969. They put out their first album in 1971. But it wasn't until 1974 when they got big with LaGrange. Although LaGrange did not make top 40. It was played a lot on the AM radio stations. But just fell short of the top 40, but still it put them on the map big time. Tush came out in the fall of 1975. That was a big one for them. And so we got this song, It's Only Love. Tigas is the name of the album, the fifth album that came out in 1976. Tigas means friend. It's an Indian term. The Caddo language, based from the Caddo Nation. Caddo Nation is sort of a conglomeration, a confederacy of several Indian tribes based in the southeast, and it means friends. The guy who produced this album, Bill Ham. Bill Ham had a lot to do with CC Top, their image, producing their hit albums. Bill Ham met CC Top. Well, actually, they weren't even known as CC Top. They were known as the Moving Sidewalks, and then they became the Sidewalks. And I guess this was in the late 60s, early 70s. Bill Ham saw them perform with the Doors, the Sidewalks. And Bill Ham, after the show was over, Bill Ham came up to the Sidewalks. He said, "You guys sound great. You guys sound phenomenal." They're like, "Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nice to get a compliment." And later on, when they became CC Top, when the group fired their manager, they came up to Bill Ham and said, "Would you like to manage us?" And not only did he manage them, he produced their hit records, he helped create their image, and co-wrote some of their songs. Bill Ham, behind the scenes of CC Top. The guys who played on this album got Frank Beard on drums. God, the drums are just awesome. And when you listen to these drums, now this is 1976, but it sounds 80s. Which is interesting because CC Top, they had that huge comeback in the 80s with Sharp Dressed Man and Legs. The drums sound very 80s. But it's not a drum machine. They're real drums, I assure you. Frank Beard on drums and Dusty Hill on bass and Billy Gibbons on lead vocals. CC Top combining rock and roll with the blues, with country. And so we have this record here at number, and by the way, another thing about Bill Ham, I forgot about this. Glad I wrote my notes down. Glad I write my stuff down. Bill Ham, who produced CC Top, later discovered and managed Clint Black, country superstar, back in the day, the 80s and 90s. Let's go to Billboard's Hot 100 now, of November, what was that date again? November 6, 1976. This was a nice rock and roll record, but not commercial enough to be top 10, though. It's Only Love by CC Top at number 45. It's up 2 from 47 the previous week. It peaked at 44. It was on Billboard's Hot 100 for almost 3 months. 11 weeks. Classic rock. CC Top.